Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Comics, the show. Now we are on episode 10, so that's kind of celebratory, but overall episode 10. And I'm Technique, obviously, or Frank, however you want to call me. And this is
Nighthawk. Hello, happy weekend, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Got our coffee, we got our water, and we got a bunch of fun stuff to talk about, right, man? We got Loki episode 5. Obviously, we're leading into the season finale next Wednesday. We got a couple of trailers this week. We got Black Widow, no spoilers. That just came out yesterday. We're gonna give it some breathing room, and we're gonna talk about some collectibles, something that we all love as well. So yeah, man, how was your week though?
it's
Easy?
good. It's good. Excuse me. Always trying to stay busy if possible. Lots of stuff coming up. A lot of stuff coming up. Especially like games and stuff. And the New World is coming up. That's gonna be really huge.
Yeah, they announced
Like,
again 10 days. I know you're excited.
Yep. Very. I've been waiting on that for a minute. So and then technically it releases next month at the end of the month. Might as well call it a September release, to be honest. The way things are going. But a lot of great things are happening. I mean, yeah, like you said, we got Black Widow. Everybody's liking it. The reviews are really good. I want to say people like what's her name? I know her name is like Ivana or in the
we had this last week. We couldn't
actress's name.
Yeah.
I found her because I found her Twitter.
Yeah, we were talking about this last week because we couldn't just we kept on messing up her name live. But yeah, the good thing about Black Widow, obviously, it came out yesterday. It's a prequel.
Florence Pugh.
Florence Pugh. Yeah, it's our first dive back into a Marvel movie. 2 years, literally almost 2 years to the date, because when Spider-Man came out in July of 2019, give or take. So, oh man, it's nice. We're finally back in it. Everyone that I've seen tweeted, like you said, has said that it's a fun ride, which is exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's Marvel doesn't really drop the ball on it. I mean, everyone was worried about all the delays and stuff, but I mean, everything has a reason. So I say let them do what they want to do. I think they just really wanted to release this thing in the theaters and see where it was going. You know, I don't know how well it's doing in the theaters. I'm not going. I'm gonna purchase it and watch it from home. I'd rather spend the $30 because I think I'm gonna be I would spend around that much anyway going to the movie theater. But just being in my own home and being able to pause and react to things without having, blah, blah, blah.
Explain to your wife this is why there's such a big meaning behind this. I know. I know me specifically, I've seen a bunch of my community members went out yesterday and Thursday night to the midnight showings. They went out and saw it, and they've gave it glowing reviews. But I think I'm like you. I think for this one, at least, we're going to take it home. Yeah. Especially with 2 little ones, it's going to be hard to get out and check it out. But actually, it's doing really good. So I remember seeing it yesterday, so I actually wanted to bring it up. So Black Widow takes aim at a massive $39.5 million opening on Friday and could potentially earn upwards of $90 million for the weekend. For the first forte back into the movies and Marvel, I mean, it's not the hundreds of millions that I think we've come accustomed to for Marvel. That's pretty good, coming out of a pandemic and everything. I mean, that's definitely a good sign. Yeah, everyone wants to get out of the house.
I just wish people would get out of the house smart, not being dumb about it. But yeah. I mean, that's expected. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind they're going to make money, right? Because people are just so eager to get out and put themselves in that environment again.
Yeah.
But it looks really good. I mean, but I still feel like Marvel's new iterations of their shows are just blowing those movies out of the water. So I haven't watched Black Widow yet. I'll be watching it on Sunday, tomorrow. But my God, man, like their TV series are just explosive. Like, we'll get into it, later in the show. But Loki, I mean, I always ask myself, how are they going to beat this episode? How are they going to beat this episode? How are they going to, I literally say, and they do it. They just stomp it. Yep. They stomp it out. And I'm just like, bro, what the literally just leaves me just. And I always fall in love with every character they introduce. It's just ridiculous. But we'll get into that later.
Yeah, agreed.
But yeah, Black Widow's looking good. I mean, hate her or like her, Scarlett Johansson she's a badass Black Widow. She's great. What a great choice for her. You know, and Florence Pugh is just, man. I was watching some stunt work she was doing. She was actually doing some of her own stunt work. Like that's nutty. Like to just come out of the door swinging like that and being on screen with a vet that's been in Marvel movies and, you know, built a repertoire and people like her for so long. Like Florence is just, she's the hotness, man. I'm watching her. Twitter's not even that big, but I'm watching it grow.
I mean, it's
growing, man.
This is your first forte into the Marvel universe, and I think it's safe to say, probably not going to be her last with how well she's been portrayed. Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't spoiled anything for myself, but I have, you know, seen people have really enjoyed Red Guardian as well. So I assume he's probably going to make a comeback. Jennifer Connelly. Who plays the mom? The mom type person to Red Guardian. I get Jennifer Connelly and her. She's from The Mummy and Ox on the Moon. Oh my God, what's her name? But yeah, Rachel. Yes, Rachel. Thank you. Damn it.
Like that,
damn it. You gotta love Twitch names. But yeah, she's apparently fantastic. Everyone says that Taskmaster, yes, you want more, but that character is amazing. So
they always give Taskmaster the boot. They better not this time.
I hope they don't.
I think he'll be back. Taskmaster always comes back. He's like literally in everybody's comics.
Well, I think with the Thunderbolts being on the docket and you see Zemo going to the raft, I really hope that and we've talked about this before, I really hope that with Taskmaster and these other villains, whether it's bringing them and being part of the Thunderbolts or like the Dark Avengers, or just not killing them off so you can use them again, please, because just don't. I hope they don't do anything like that in the movie. But yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't like the fact that Black Widow is quote unquote gone. Because it was just too sudden for me. It wasn't a lead up or nothing. We still have Hawkeye.
Yep.
There's rumors of Ronin.
Yeah.
So I hope they do a Ronin series. That would be badass. Because that version of man,
I wanted to see more.
That's a very dark alley too.
Yeah.
So if they go down that road, I'd be so happy. But they would have to probably make that rated R for me to be like fully invested.
When I saw that in the theaters and them starting his whole story with that, dude, I almost lost it. That was sad.
Yeah.
And seeing it as a father go off essentially the deep end, that was. I would love to see them go deeper into that. And I know Ronin in the comic books is a badass character.
Mm-hmm.
And we just saw the tip of that with that fight scene in Endgame. I definitely am with you. I want to see more of that.
Yeah, but the thing is like Ronin was technically, I guess you could say, quote unquote, Ronin is before Hawkeye in his previous life. And I think that's they're kind of hinting at it because Natasha knew exactly where to find him, right? Like she knew how to find him to the T.
Yeah.
When they were looking for him. And he kind of like gave her this, don't do this, or don't get in my way.
Don't give me hope.
So like those two know each other, like they know each other. So I would love to see Natasha come back and do another prequel. Well, they said they were going to do it. So they said they were going to do the Agents show. I just don't know when or what it's called, but they were saying that we're going to go back and see Hawkeye or, Clint, whatever, and Natasha before the Avengers. And we get a little, idea of what happened and how that relationship was formed. I think that's very important anyway. I think that's just extremely important.
Yeah. Do we know if her contract is up?
I don't think it is. Normally that news is like public, normally that pops out and it says, so hers wasn't, when they announced all the contracts, hers wasn't included. It was Chris Evans,
Robert Downey
Jr., Chris Hemsworth.
But Hemsworth got renewed. Yeah.
So did Chris Evans.
Now, did that just get renewed for What If though, or was that also renewed for movies? We don't know.
I don't know. They said it was a 2-year thing, or not 2-year thing, but a 2-show movie, whatever thing.
Gotcha.
So we don't know what that's going to be like. It could be maybe they're going to introduce something dealing with what's her face, Agent Carter. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, we know obviously there's things going on with Shannon Carter at the end. Obviously, What If, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes.
Has a big role to play.
Yeah,
she might end up being one of the bads at the end of the day. So,
you know what?
Caught in the middle. I don't want to say bads. I want to say more like grays. I think she's more of a gray at this point.
You know what's
Nick Fury is definitely coming back.
Oh yeah. What was his end credit scene? What movie was that he had the end credit scene? Was he was in space? Was that
Captain Marvel, I believe.
Was that Captain Marvel? When he was in space looking down on everybody?
It's definitely going to be dealing with that.
Oh no, that was Spider-Man, right?
Oh yeah.
Far From Home.
His last scene was Spider-Man. Yeah. His last.
So he's right now not on Earth. So, and they alluded to that. Yeah, they alluded to that at the end of WandaVision, at the end credit scene where the Skrull points up to space. Fury wants to see, or whatever it was she said, and she points up in space. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, there was a meeting up there because apparently.
Thank you, Ryan.
There's something cosmic going on. So Nick Fury dealing with cosmic shit, I guess.
I coming out of these last 3 series, right? And I haven't even watched Black Widow, but I'm gonna dive into it. It's gonna be an hour and a half, 2-hour movie. And thinking back to like the Defenders and the Punisher and Luke Cage, specifically season 1, Daredevil. I'm you kind of said it before. I'm very much wanting to see more Marvel and more, even, I guess, eventually, hopefully DC as well, and other forms of comic books as these series and as these seasons. Like, I like the Big Bang 2 to 3 hours, but if I had a preference, I think right now, this longer form storytelling, just take a look at Loki. It's incredible. It's the best I've ever seen. It's literally the best, not only from Marvel, but I just think as far as a whole in the comic book genre, period. And that's talking about Invincible, The Boys, everything. Right. It's beautiful. I love it. I want more of it. I want more and less movies.
It's not, and it doesn't feel like a comic book movie to people that people that don't like comics or don't want to get into that world. I think when they watch this, they're getting something more than a comic book movie. It's just like
you're hitting a wider audience.
Yeah, the way it's written, like just Loki in general, and I know we're kind of jumping the gun, just talking about that. It's so inviting and so interesting. You really don't need to know crap about Loki to enjoy Loki, and that's the cool thing about it. You can start anywhere with those TV series. Where the movies, you feel lost as heck if you just jump in, like at the end or towards this, that, and the other. If Endgame or not Endgame, but if Infinity War is your first movie, you're gonna be like, what the hell is going on? I'm not in this, But if Loki, you jump in, you'll just be like, oh, okay, so this is what happened to him here and there, and blah blah blah. And you watch the character. He has so much. He had more development in the Loki series than he had in the whole dang. Years of movies that passed, and wow, look what we were missing. It's like, damn.
I think they said in the first 2 episodes of Loki, you got more screen time and more storytelling over the first 3 phases of Marvel with him, which was incredible, because you think of it and you're like, oh my god, he actually hasn't been in a lot and part of a lot of screen time as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely nice to see him shine, because he's how do I put it? I'm just trying to move my camera and just scroll it up. Is it this way or this way?
If it's to your left, if you're doing it for stream.
It's this way. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, flipped. So I'm not used to that. Anyway, it's amazing. But like I said, I don't want to jump the gun. To go into that. But speaking on the what if standpoint, what if it's canon, which is really weird to me. I don't understand. It's probably gonna be multiverse, this, that, and the other. But man. I'm Marvel's doing so good. Like, I hope I'm surprised. When I see Marvel animations, I'm kind of just like, yay.
So I assume you saw the trailer that came out.
Yeah, It's like it could be good, but I don't really give a crap about it. I'm just like, man, I don't care about a what if situation. I just give me more something else. Like, I feel like that gap could have been used for something else.
Yeah.
I mean, give me the Shield and Hydra takeover. Give me that little timeline of what happened in that. Like, what the hell happened in that? People that don't know comics are probably just like, why? How the hell is Hydra over there? Like, what happened? Who got entered? Who is the inserted mole and this, that, and the other? That would be fun to have in there and see where they are now and what they're dealing with. Or hell, give me a series where superheroes are starting to get their powers and trying to be normal. I mean,
yeah, the start
stuff
of it.
Like that.
Do you think they're doing this as like a palate cleanser to get more kids involved? Because I think the one thing,
feel like it's a filler.
Well, you know what it is? I feel like DC has cornered the market on like kids. I feel like when it's Teen Titans Go, when you're talking to like a 5 to like 10-year-old, when you think about cartoons and even going out and purchasing like books for him, like I went out and bought my son a bunch of books. I barely saw anything Marvel. It was all DC. It was all Superman and Batman. I saw very, very little Spider-Man kids like dedicated to like 2, 3, 4, 5 to maybe like 10-year-olds. So like, I wonder if this what if is going to, yes, it's going to cater towards us still. Because we're gonna get the feels obviously with Third and Things, and we're gonna understand because we've lived this for the past decade plus. But I wonder if this is for them more going back also and trying to bring in a younger audience, because with Disney Plus, right? I mean, you can go on there and watch the Mighty Ducks or other cartoon-esque type things, but when you go to Marvel right now, it's all adults. Look at the Bad Batch. I mean, Bad Batch for Star Wars is as much as it's adult, you could definitely say it is also catered more towards kids.
I guess. I think it's more work to pull out animation and try to make it for both parties, because especially when you're this deep into the Marvel universe, you have to you're trying to fit it in something, and then these kids don't know. I mean, granted, kids you can say kids like flashing colors and this, that, and the other. I just think the market is just not there for cartoons anymore. We don't even call cartoons anymore. We call them animations, which is the adult term for it. And then on top of that, animations are more geared towards adults now, because we are the generation. We are the cartoon generation, and these kids just want reality shows. And if they can get it, and hell, they don't even want TV anymore. They just want Netflix and Hulu and all this other stuff, and they're watching like grown people shows. Yeah. If you pull a Harry Potter on there, they'll probably watch it. Or you put a Twilight or something, I'm not talking about those movies in general, but like a 2021 version of it, the kids will be all for it.
Yeah,
kids are reading novels now and stuff. Like they're all grown up because they have tablets and cell phones at the age of 5 and 6. It's a whole different generation now that's entering the fray, man. Kids come out with wanting Apple products that's fresh out of the womb. It's
Daddy, I need an HD Pro
toy. Look at the toys suck now, bro. Like, they're all automated and stuff. You can control them with your mind and crap or whatever. But
all right, Professor
toys
X.
Back in our days, you walk down a toy aisle, and it was like 5 or 6 aisles of toys. You walk down an aisle now, you're barely getting toys.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like it's a whole different world. I don't even know how I'm gonna raise a kid in this world, man. Like. Got to introduce them to adult stuff when they hit 10. You have to, because they're exposed to it. Everything is funny. I saw a post the other day, and it was one of those TikToks, but everything is geared towards sex. 100%. It is. It's like ridiculous. Everything is geared towards sex and attractiveness, and that's just how people are perceived now, and every show I look at has that kind of feel to it. It's just like, this is what we're going to do. Adults have the money at the end of the day. The bank is coming through us. Kids are the ride along. They're like the attachment of the sugar on top of whatever cake that you're trying to pull. And if the adults like it, the kids are going to like it, type thing. So
I remember going down into Toys R Us by me.
Mm-hmm.
The casual may know this because we grew up not too far from each other.
They closed up.
For me, it was aisle 7A. 7A had everything. You had Star Wars, obviously Marvel, DC, Transformers, just literally every major hit back then. Ghostbusters, Thundercats, it was all down there. I went to Target the other day to do a pickup for something for my wife, and I went to the back. You have like a half of an aisle dedicated to toys or even like princess and Barbie stuff. All the rest of it was all like like board games and like coloring books. Like toys have gone now to like kind of the waste, which is interesting because the people that bought all those toys for us was our parents. We played with them all, and now you think that we would want to show our kids that, but it's not there. But I guess that's why we have Funko Pop. That's why we have, you know, Black Label or Black Series, excuse me, from Star Wars now. Like I feel like when we grew, the companies grew, and the companies grew because we made those companies, and now there's nothing for the kids again. So it's definitely interesting. Before, right? Yeah.
Saturday morning cartoons are non-existent, you know. I remember being a teenager, going into adulthood, that everything turned to reality shows. Disney used to be all cartoons, you know, and now it's all reality shows, but reality shows made for kids. And, you know, I literally watched the cartoon era not die off, but transform, so to speak.
When Oliver gets to the age, I'm going to make sure that I have every digital platform so I can show him all the stuff that I grew up on, because
That's exactly what my plan is, dude. Like X-Men, I'm interjecting that stuff like at the age of like 3. You can see the TV colors, great,
perfect. Welcome Let's go.
X-Men. Yeah, like, you know, it's just, I don't know. The kids want to read. Here's a comic. You know, here's this, that, and the other. Because the most important thing that kids lose these days is imagination. Like, it's just gone. They're too much real world shit is hitting them left and right. Like they don't have an escape. A lot of these kids they get into these unfortunately depressed moods and like dealing with, like, a kid should not be dealing with chronic depression at an early age. I feel they shouldn't have to, you know what depression was until I was in, I want to say, college, you know, end of high school, college years. But being like in elementary school and middle school, dude, my problems were, when do I get to play? You know, I have to do these little chores, and when do I get to go outside, or when do I get to, you know, play with my toy, whatever. So it's just, you know, it's a whole different world. So that's why I think that a lot of things, even animations, are just geared toward us now. And they lost that touch. You know, Shrek was a good segue into having kids enjoy a movie, but have way more messages for adults. You know, you could break apart a Shrek movie and be like, that was kind of adult, you know, but it was like, for us.
There really is no cartoons for us now. The cartoons, like you said, that are out there are now animes. That's what we watch. Like outside of every once in a while, the Netflix or something, whatever. it's we've grown to animations, and the new
which
nerd.
Are great, by the way. You know. Even DC. If I showed a kid like Young Justice, they'll be like, "What the heck is really going on here?" And they'll probably just enjoy the fight scenes, but the story development, that's all adult stuff. Yeah. So hopefully, What If is. I think it'll be a fun ride. I just don't know why it's canon.
That's I give you that. Like, I think it's gonna be a fun ride seeing Black Panther or T'Challa as Star-Lord, and like the way they're playing with these different Peggy Carter being Captain Britain, essentially, like Superior Spider-Man, by the way, Sorcerer Supreme Spider-Man, sorry.
Yeah.
Like but like how is that canon? But listen, I guess this may be a good segue, but after next week's episode, it could all make sense, because we have no idea what next week's Loki episode is going to entail for everything. Maybe this What If makes perfect sense to come after the next week's episode of Loki. Like, I don't know. There's could be a cause for it. I don't know.
I'm not afraid of it being bad or good or anything like that. I'm just more afraid of it convincing me that I need to be fully invested in it to make connections throughout all of this. And I just didn't want it to be an animation. I didn't even want What If, period, to be honest with you.
Yeah, okay.
I just think we don't need it. I think What If is a good little sprinkles of candy on ice cream at the end. We have our ice cream, we're enjoying the hell out of it. Sprinkle a little What If you want to watch this, but it doesn't really, it's not going to really shake up anything in the universe. Do this. Because then if it's canon, are those characters going to be a part of anything? Like, how's it going to show up later? Is it going to have a beginning and a solid end? They already booked the season 2 for it.
Yep. They did already book a season 2.
Damn, man. Like, so it better be good. And hell, I might, and then don't quote me on this, because I might come back months later and be like, holy shit, it was awesome. I might, I don't know. This might be a good place for Marvel to say, hey, we here with animation, baby. Like, we doing it. I mean, they have the cast.
This is true.
So we'll see. But
anyway, there's definitely going to be some feels too. So
yeah, for sure. Speaking of fun,
yeah,
Funko Pops.
Yeah,
they released the new Funko Pops for Loki. I want to say episode 5. I mean, that's really what the Funko Pops are. They're cute as hell, man. I want them. They released our Loki, old Loki, kid Loki, and alligator Loki.
Yeah.
And they look fantastic. They look so fun. I love Funko a lot. They just
heckin' alligator
really,
Loki.
Really fun stuff. Yeah. So those, granted, those are collectibles. Fun question for the chat and audiences out there. And if you're looking at, looking from a different website or whatever, Funko Pops, do you take them out or do you keep them in the box?
Oh, that's such a good question.
Because I have so many of them, I don't have room. So they're in a box, So I'm just like, do I take these damn things out? Do I spend hours dusting them off? Like, I'm never going to sell them. I already know that. I'll never sell them. If something happens to me, then, whatever. But why have Funko Pops if you don't keep them in a little box?
I mean,
it doesn't display them well. It has a number. I understand it's collectible mentality ideas, but it doesn't have the display box. Kind of sucks. I don't know.
They're small enough to keep in the box and kind of lay them out, but they're also like, if we have a setup behind us like you and I do, you kind of do want to take them out. And now this is what gets me in trouble. I always bought 2 of everything. One to keep in the box and one to open up.
Why though?
This is always this, because you know what? That's that collector mentality. Like for me, I always had this old mentality. I always had this vision of my office, my room. Like, for instance, when DC Collectibles brought out their line about 4 years ago of the Batman animated series and the Adventures of Batman series, I bought 2 of everything. One to keep in the box and then one to display. Now the display one was going to be in front of the box to show kind of like a collection going around my room and around my office. But did I ever do that? No, I didn't. But that was my mentality. Like, when I go downstairs and look at my collection, I'm like, why do I have these things in a box now?
So here's what I don't understand.
But I do have some, I do have some still in the box. Like my, when I used to, because of my old job, I went to like every San Diego and New York Comic-Con. So I do have limited editions still in the box. But like, I have some Supermans, some Nightwings, some Batmans. Like, I got a Batman Beyond over here that's out of the box. Like, there's certain ones that I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to pop them out. It is what it is. But then maybe it's that, what's the word? It's not memory. The mentality of it is just like, I'm going to keep some in and some out. So I don't know. What do you do, chat? What do you do?
It's weird because it's like, all right, Funko Pops cost you like $10 or something. I don't know. Sometimes
they're not overly expensive.
Depending on the model. But we buy these $500, $600 damn figures, but we pop them things out of the box immediately and throw them on a shelf or put them in like a case. So why don't we just do that with Funkos? Like, why don't we just put them in a case? That's where it's on display and dust stays off. That's what I'm going to buy, a big old IKEA case with lighting and stuff. Or if it doesn't have lighting, I'll put my own lighting in it. And I'm going to just go ahead and open up all those damn Funko Pops that I have and throw them in a case, because I just don't understand why we keep boxes everywhere,
Especially when you don't have room.
But they take up a shit ton of room, and on top of that, they don't look good on a camera. They like the camera just shows shines on the boxes, and furthermore, let me see. You see those down there? Yeah, look, doesn't really do a good job displaying shit because they got designs all over them.
Is that Miles Morales Spider-Man?
Yeah, I got the whole mount set. I got the
right.
whole dude, I have hundreds of these damn things, but it doesn't display them well because they have stickers all over the box, and then they have yeah, but you could build shelving to do the exact same thing. You know, you can like get a display case and have the shelving do this. Think about it like this: for Funko Pops, you can only put 2 on the shelf, right? Or you can do 4 if you stack them, but then you have to worry about wobbling problems. So either way, you're gonna have 2, 2, 2, 2.
And if you notice, those boxes sometimes aren't the best boxes.
Yeah,
some of those boxes,
and then they get old over time, and then they lose color and shit over time and stuff. So it's just like, if you're better off building a glass shelf, or not glass shelf, but a shelf with like plexiglass or whatever, and then having, you know, just shelving be measured for Funko Pop. Actually, hell, you could probably get more in the shelf because the box makes up for the height on these things, and just display them 2 and 2 and 2, and then you have a better thing. But I guess for I don't know, you know, don't take my. Wow. This is just a saying, a poor man way of, as we call everything poor, like poor man copyright, whatever. I guess if you just wanted to stack them up against your wall, the boxes are a thing, but they really just don't display well. I think what's getting is the fact that they put numbers on them.
Yeah.
Or they say limited edition. I think that's what makes us like, oh my God, I gotta keep it in the box. But we'll never sell that stuff.
They have some crazy resale value if you get it either graded by CGC or whatever it is, or even if you have like I have a set of the original Power Rangers Funko Pops, and the Red Ranger, I believe it is specifically, even ungraded on nothing, just in good condition in a box, goes for a couple of $100. Like okay. that's that collector's mentality, dude. I bought you remember Mondo tees, how they're massive for vinyls? I bought a Last of Us 2 vinyl. Like, I was just, because I was in the collectible world, this is the world that I grew up in and the business that I was part of for 10 plus years. So I just bought random collectible shit left and right, and I just started selling it because, like, why do I have this? I bought it for like $50. I sold it for a couple of $100 because I'm looking at it, I'm like, I love The Last of Us, but that's my PlayStation 5 or whatever it is.
I mean,
there are things that I will never get rid of, though.
Here's the deal. Like, vinyls are different to me because vinyls have beautiful covers and they're pretty much works of art. And you can take those out and put them back in, so to speak, if you really wanted to.
Technically, yeah.
I mean, hell, and if you're really, really that, like, in depth with collectibles, you can always buy yourself a lamination machine because that's all it is.
Yeah.
Laminate
everything.
But the thing that I have like issue 1 of Spider-Man in a case. I'm never selling that shit. Ever.
Wait. You're talking, what issue 1 of, like like Action Comics Superman, but like Spider-Man?
Glass case. But I'm never selling it, bro.
Have you ever thought about getting it graded to increase the value, or because you're never selling it, you're just like, no?
I'm never selling it. Because anybody that sees that thing, they're like, holy crap. And that's what I like. That's my payment. I'm never giving it away, and I'll pass it down to my kid. And if they do something with it, that's them. But I'm never giving it away, man. Like that's the thing. It's just like, people go in and like, all right, this book is worth like $24,000, and then the value drops the next day, or the next day after that,
look at Pokemon cards recently. How it just went like this one day, and now it's like a couple like 2 months later. Now it's starting to come down.
Right, and not even that. Remember the TY babies?
Oh, Ty Beanie Babies. Yeah.
People used to beat people's up for those things, man. Like, legit day 1 releases. People be at Barnes and Noble and stuff, like, ready to fight. Now look at those people. They're like 60, 70 years old and got a whole closet full of TY babies, just wanting to give them away at this point.
Ain't worth nothing now.
They ain't worth nothing. And some of those things sold for thousands of dollars. But that's what I'm saying. It's just like the value course is just too fluctuating. I am more of the sentimental value of like, oh my God, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Look what I got. This is me. And I like the fact that when friends come over and stuff, they be like, dude, that's awesome, you know, or whatever. Or why do you have this old crusty comic book? Well, let me tell you, you know. So it's just like that value to me is more worth it. I'd rather see comic books in a museum. I rather if it was a museum that was going to be around and I can sell my stuff to a museum before I'm on my deathbed, so to speak. Yeah, that's a whole different ball game. Because at that point, I'm enriching a generation, right? Like I'm spreading out this love that was me. That's way more important to me than trying to scrounge up $300 for a comic book cover that I'm going to spend on probably a figure that'd be blown in like no time that I'll forget about. You know, it's that back in the day, we come from that collector mindset where we hoard everything. Great. I remember my mom and dad had to like go in my room when I was asleep to throw away my Ninja Turtle you remember the cases that used to go on the Ninja Turtle, the figures, the plastic, but you turn around the back, they had like a comic and shit on it and stuff. I kept those damn things. They had to sneak in my room and throw them shits away. I did the same thing, man. I kept putting my Ninja Turtles back in it. They were like, you have a Ninja Turtle. So back in the day, they had portfolios for toys. Yeah, like you would for cars. Yes, I had those. Yes, and you would flip through like things of like your figures, and they were like in a collectible thing. But then I was just like, but I can't see them. They're inside this thing. They're inside something, yeah. Yeah. So, but that's the thing. The mentality is keep everything sealed up and all. You know, baseball cards and football cards that were valued were in plaques back in the day. Yeah. You don't see those junks around people's house anymore unless you might get the real, like the Bears fans, you know, like the Cincinnati Bears fans or whatever that, or Red Sox fans that are like super Yankees fans that probably have their whole man cave decked out, but those people are old as salt, man. But the younger generation doesn't care about that stuff. Everything is digital. Everything. Yeah, I think the collectible mentality went from memorabilia with sports, and now it's collectibles now, but it branches into the Funko Pops, and you're gonna have people like Casual's brother, and sometimes like myself, we grab something and I'm not touching that. Now, whether or not I sell it in the future, I don't know. If it's something personal to me, like I have a Christopher Reeves Hot Toys. One is open behind me, one is shut behind me. As much as I could probably sell that for some good money, right now it's something to me. Christopher Reeves Superman. It was my first forte into everything. It's like that's something I'll never sell. But like the Mondo stuff, I don't know why I bought them years ago, but now I'm looking at them like I don't need any of this stuff. I'm just gonna sell it. But that actually, I want to say a funny story real quick because you brought up Superman. But Casual, his brother has a day one release Ocarina of Time gold cartridge, brand new in the box. See, that's cool. Like if that's something, like if you're a big fan of it and you're just keeping it, that's sick. I like Josh's comment, Ellswood, Spider-Man 300, I'm hoping is my retirement insurance. I thought that was pretty funny. I disagree. I don't think Pops are the new Beanie Babies, because Beanie Babies were just beaned stuffed animals. I feel like Funko Pops are everything right now. Yeah, but they're everything. Beanie Babies were everything back then. Like I remember they had like Star Wars and like fighting over Beanie Babies, bro. Like I remember people would do. You know how we leak the information is leaked today, and like I remember there was Beanie Baby leaks. Like people were like, Beanie Baby number 42 is gonna be a freaking ocean oracle named Willie, because Free Willy's coming out, and you gotta get it, you know, and there's only gonna be 14 made, and people would literally go ham over that stuff. Remember the Elmo dolls? I mean, wait, no, was it was what was it? Tickle Me Elmo and Furby, Elmo, bro. That was it. Furby too? Was that the other one? Furbies, but Tickle Me Elmo was like war. You know, like there was actual war in the Christmas out. People like there was like reports of people robbing people for the Tickle Me Elmos, man. And, and it's just like, why though? My dad still has Tickle Me Elmo. I think it has some kind of value, but he's not gonna sell that shit. It's just the idea of having something that's worth something. You know, Cabbage Patch Kids, hoarders, man. No, yeah. Like I said, if I went downstairs and took a picture of things, like you would be like, dude, how and why do you have all this stuff? And like I still have all my toys when I was growing up. I want to give them down to Oliver because all the stuff here sucks. But really quick, because we do got to get on to Loki, because you said you would never bring out your number one Spider-Man.
Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con 2016. I can send you the photo. There was a madman going around, bro, with a Action Comics #1 CGC graded on the show floor. It was legit. It was one of 3, I think, that is. You're talking about, you're literally walking around handing it to people. Hey, do you want to take a photo with it? I held in my possession an Action Comic. I took a photo with it. I was shaking over. I think it was, at the time, it was like Nicolas Cage sold his for like $2 million or something like that. I was like, I held. First off, I never thought I would hold something that valuable, and 2, I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna bop you over the head and run. No security, no nothing. It's like, what in your mind? No, I didn't. That is true. Probably wouldn't have gotten a couple of inches.
Level
but
is
yeah.
there.
But like,
it's a horde mentality.
I would never do that. Like you just said, like, because it's so different.
Would you sell it if it was worth $2 million?
That is, dude. It's kind of like,
I'm the crazy person that would not do it.
It's that hindsight thing, right? It's like, do I sell it now so I can, like, if I could sell it for $2 million, I probably would, just because I would want to secure my
probably would.
I would want to secure my family's, future, essentially. But there's that part of me where it's like, there's like, if it was my grandfather's told the story, just like I'm sure yours did, or there's a chat. I went out to war. I had Superman #1 and all these other things. My mother went under the bed and she threw it all out. If it was my grandfather's, I don't think I could sell it. That's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Wait.
Everyone has their grandfather or somebody, right, who has their, they went out to war or they went to their baseball game and then they come back and everything got thrown out.
My dad's stuff because she was overly religious, so she didn't,
Mm-hmm. The only Superman in this house is Jesus. But we talked about a lot of stuff here right now, right? We talked about some of the cool things that are coming out. What If, for those of you trying to figure out, that is the next series coming out on Disney Plus, which they gave a date, which is August 11th. Funny enough, that's a Wednesday. We all know it's every Wednesday.
Everything's on Wednesday now.
The next day after, for those of you DC fans, we got Titans season 3 coming out on HBO Max. So you get a double dip of Marvel and DC. Obviously, we talked about Black Widow. Frank is going to go head out and see it tomorrow. I'm either going to watch it tonight or tomorrow with the missus.
I'm out of my house and see it. I ain't going
Sit
nowhere,
down on the couch, head out on the couch and watch it. Sorry.
I'm not going out in that COVID field, man. Too many people are getting it.
Yes. So we'll talk about it. We may talk about it next week or the following week, give more people some breathing room with it. We talked about Funko and collectibles.
Or so.
And I think it's time to talk about Loki episode 5.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's time. We got about around 45 or something minutes. Yeah. What an episode, man! The production level on that episode was mind blowing.
There was from start to finish, you were looking at everything in that episode, every inch of the screen too.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I mean, from the moment he technically woke up, hearing the stories, old man Loki, godlike, loved him.
Oh yeah, classic Loki. Him. Yep.
What and the funny thing is, if I had to say a most powerful Loki, that was it, man. He was powerful, dude. Like powerful. So, and it was great that they gave him that, young Loki was interesting, knowing that was his kingdom, so to speak, that they just dumped everything. And seeing the kind of punk apocalyptic world that was created there, the reason why that place was the dump site, getting a little bit more backstory on the timekeepers, like leading into what we're going to find out. What a way to introduce episode 6. Like, what a way to put a finale up in people's face and piss people off at the same time, because I feel like we needed 7 episodes at this point.
We need more. 6 is not enough for sure.
So how are you going to do it? And like I said, every episode I'm like, dude, how are they going to beat this episode? How are they going to, and like, God, did they blow me away episode 5. I had somebody in my chat the other day said, but it was no episode 4. And I'm like, bro, are you kidding me? Do you need to go back and watch this shit again? I was like, the shock factor of episode 4, was there, but episode 5 was just gorgeous all around. It had, I mean, you got everybody back. You got the whole crew back. You
got the team back together. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sophie got in a fight with Ravonna, and then Ravonna kind of started acting like she was defected, I should say, and she wasn't, so to speak. Well, she is and she isn't. She's curious, but she doesn't want to give up her power. That's very clear.
She has an end
very,
game.
very clear.
Yep.
She had her like pageant day winner, whatever
sachet on, yeah,
sash on. We saw Agent
was it B-15? Is it B-15 or B-20? I think it's B-15.
No, C-20 is the one that got
yeah,
whatever happened to her.
Yeah, I think it's B-15 if I remember. Hunter B-15.
Yeah, B-15, I believe. That's it. She got she's in confinement, but she's got a backbone now.
Yeah,
she knows that shit's going on, and she struck a chord in Ravonna. And why didn't they prune her? That's a big question. Because I think Ravonna's she's in that gray area, but she doesn't want to give up hope, or doesn't want to give up her position where she is. She doesn't want to believe it. Yeah, I think it makes me feel like she finally found a purpose in whatever life they created for her, and she just saw herself going up the chain.
Yeah.
And winning. And when she lost big. But it struck me weird, Matt, that she didn't know that those were bots that were just created up there.
Yeah. You know? So with Ravonna, I think we figured out a couple of things. I think the first thing that we figured out is she didn't know what was going on all along with the people working at the TVA being variants. That was clear. Yeah. It was also clear that she didn't know that the Watcher she was talking to, and we saw her in prior episodes talk to them without seeing them, that they weren't actually the Watchers. You know, she didn't know that there was someone else behind the curtain per se. But we also did see, especially with her conversation with B-15, that she very much wants the TVA to be the status quo. She wants answers because she tells Miss Minutes, get me those files when she's walking down the hallway. Yeah, but she doesn't want to tear it down and burn it down like Mobius and the Loki or Lokis. She wants to keep it status quo.
Because she has power. You know,
she has power. Yep.
The idea of everything that you have to think of it like this: the idea of growing up, or quote unquote growing up, or being involved in something for so long. Mm-hmm. No, I know we don't know how many decades, because time works different there, apparently.
Yep.
Or centuries she's been alive, really. I mean, who knows? That's all they know. And to have everything you know be stripped away, or a lie, essentially. Just imagine being a kid growing up and you're 7 years old, let's just say, and you find out everything you ever knew was a lie. You're gonna want answers, but you're not gonna want to give that up either. Yeah. So it's just like she's in that area where she's just like, you know what? I'm going to get answers, and I'm going to run the TVA now. I'm going to bring whatever I think is blah, 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 blah. But she's in very much denial. And she's stressed out, and she wants answers, but at the same time, she doesn't want to lose. She hates the idea of losing. You can see it in her face. She lied to Sophie. So one thing about Sophie, or Sylphie, excuse me. Sylvie. I keep calling her Sophie is her name, but Sophia is her name, but Sylphie, put them together apparently. She wants to give people chances because she doesn't have anything or anybody. She feels like she's like alone, or she was. You know, every Loki felt alone.
Yep.
And she just wants to get to the bottom of it. But that quote that B-15 said is that you'll never find them before she does. And she's like, and how did she say? She said something like, how do you figure that? And she's like, because you want to, but she needs to. And
yes.
I was like, that was good. You know, that stuck with me right there. And another thing is, why did Sophie,
that line was amazing,
enter her mind? Did she trigger something?
Wait,
because
why
they
didn't
touched many a times?
Wait, why didn't who enter whose mind? I'm sorry.
Why didn't she charm her?
Why didn't Sylvie charm who?
Ravonna.
You can't in the TVA.
In the TVA. Yeah.
Even though they went into the Timekeeper's lair, she never had the opportunity to do that because it doesn't work there.
Right. Okay. I was wondering if the Timekeeper's chamber was a little different, but no, I guess not. She didn't touch her in the Timekeeper's chamber either. But yeah, that's true. But she was acting like she was defected. She was acting like that she was charmed at one point. Or, like I was like, did it happen?
Yeah, I like that back and forth, and I like that scene with Miss Minutes again. It was kind of like the cop trying to just wait for backup, which she was stall. At that point. Yeah. She was stalling the entire time, but she was giving little hints. Like obviously she was talking about the void, which we now know. I said it was the Sakaar from like Ragnarok, where they just dump everything. That's the planet they're on. They're calling it the void. She knew about that, so she knows about a lot of things that many other people or many others won't know about. Now, does she know about what lies beyond the void? No, that's why she asked Miss Minutes to get all those files afterwards. But she was, as much as she was playing that waiting game for backup, I think she was obviously playing the game to get more information, to try to get her ducks in order as well, because she just saw a bunch of things happen that she didn't think was real or thought was real.
I think that happened like after Sophie, pruned herself, so to speak. But I don't think she was with it during the scene with Miss Minutes and talking about the ship and Miss Minutes stalling and lying about a ship or whatever. I don't think that was the case. I think that after Sophie left and after she talked to B-15, that's when she was just like, all right, I gotta get to the bottom of this shit right now. Before
because that line stuck with her.
Loki's find whoever that is. Yeah. I can't take the fact that they're gonna find answers before me. I think that was her thing. Like she just couldn't stand the idea that someone that's been so loyal to the Timekeepers don't have answers.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I guess I'm talking about is Sophie during that conversation with Renslayer, when Miss Minutes was there and they were waiting for backup, right? Where she was playing the game waiting for backup. Sophie asked important questions when she was talking about the void and what lies beyond there, what lies beyond at the end of time. She didn't know those answers, and Sophie was asking questions that maybe no one has either asked her before or what she thought about, and then take that information, tie it into what B-15 said with what you said. That line was amazing, as New Nerd said. She wants the answers because there may be a cause there that could change everything. Sophie is trying to, now I'm doing it. Sylvie is trying to take it all down, and now Renslayer's trying to keep it all status quo at the TVA. Their paths are going to fully converge, I believe, at the end.
So now I'm like asking myself, does she really give a shit about the TVA anymore? I think she just cares about herself, because they really lined her up to be kind of selfish. With the trophies, with the big office, with the promotions, with wanting power. It was all her. I don't think she gives a shit about anybody. She showed a little bit of emotion towards Mobius, but she was over that really fast. Like she's okay, all right. So I think because she knew that he was probably going to be okay, not okay, but has a chance of survival, maybe if she had a heart. But I think now we're starting to see the heartless come out. Yeah. I don't know. I think she's just a selfish ass person at the end of the day, and she's just worried about her, what she's gonna be doing and what her purpose is, and not having a purpose. Because at the end of the day, I hope they throw the quote in there that she's no different than any other Loki. Because it looks like she's afraid to be alone. It looks like she's afraid to not have power. It looks like she's really mimicking Loki.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
But anyway, that whole conversation last episode with Mobius saying, no, you can't, I don't want you to, you can't go after, you can't talk to Sylvie, you can't interrogate her. He goes, this is the thing I do. No, you can't. Like, you're right. There is actually a very
there's something else there, right?
Right. She's not a Loki, but she has that mentality. Yeah.
Yeah. Her thought patterns is no different, and maybe she hates that. And it's kind of interesting how Sylvie she tried to be emotionally bonded towards her. She was like, you took me away from everything as a child. You took my whole life away.
Yeah.
Without a real reason. Like, look what your reason is. And I think she felt bad about that, honestly. I think she kind of felt that. You could see it in her eyes, but then she kind of flipped the script and I was like, "Oh, okay, bitch." You know, like
okay,
you see
gotcha.
what you're coming at.
Gotcha.
But at the end of the day, you know, I was asking myself, I was like, "Sylvie, just prune yourself. Sylvie, just prune yourself.
Yeah.
You know that you don't die. Just go ahead and do it." And I was like, "All right." And then she finally did it. Like, good Lord. You know, it's like, why take a ship when you could just like and just get rid of, you know, or prune her. Yeah. I was like, hit Ravonna with that junk. Just pop her in the face with it. Who cares?
She's not going to survive in there.
Yeah, give her a taste of her own medicine. So I was very confused. But Sylvie has a heart. You know, it's there. I think just like every Loki has a heart. It's just they don't know how to express themselves, you know? Because they've been told all their lives they're going to be alone. They're always the outlier, the outsider, or, you know? So anyway, getting on that planet, Loki wakes up and he meets all the other Lokis again. Old man Loki was fantastic. Alligator Loki was hilarious.
Dude, he's
young
the
Loki was
superior
great.
Loki.
And I don't know what to call the other Loki. I don't know what to call him, but
you mean you had Kid Loki or King Loki, you had Classic Loki, you had Alligator Loki, and then the one that's holding the hammer, right?
Yeah, I don't know what he was.
They called him like Protector Loki or something like that.
They didn't really give him
boastful Loki. Yes,
that's right. Yeah, he was definitely boastful.
Yes, he was.
That's all he did was boast.
I got the 6 Infinity Stones. Yeah, they're like, no.
Yeah. That's all we know is that he got the Infinity Stones, and okay, great. But Old Man Loki's or Classic Loki's story was great.
Yeah, dude. Oh my
he survived. God. That was very important. A lot of people just looked over that like, oh, this is pretty cool Loki. He survived. It's very interesting. And like I said, Marvel they always put strings in there for you to hang on to. It's like, it's okay that you missed this, but it's really good if you get this. So Classic Loki did not die to Thanos' hands. Very important. He created an image of himself.
The perfect illusion, he said.
Perfect illusion, and hid for many years and made it past his years. That was his Nexus event. Now,
wait, what did I think he said his Nexus event wasn't that he laid many of years, but as soon as he wanted,
he created his own Nexus event.
Well, yeah, because he said, you know, I'm destined to be alone, everything like that. I found a planet, everything. He finally got to a point where he's like, I want to see my brother. And as soon as he went to go step foot off of his planet, the TVA came in. So as soon as he wanted to be with his brother, then they got him. That was his Nexus event.
That was the important part because they flashed the camera on Loki. So the regret set in. And this is really important because now I'm thinking we're starting to see Loki's heart build. And now we're building on a different Loki now. He's a completely different person. And he said that multiple times. Yep. I'm so different now. I'm very different now. This, that, and the other. And I believe that is the ultimate journey for Loki. Loki's role is way bigger than I ever imagined it to be. Because I feel that he's now an extremely important player into the things that are coming, and that he's not going to be the dead guy in the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yay for that. Because I was really pissed off how they ended him in Endgame.
Endgame, at the beginning of Endgame.
Really pissed off how they did that. I was just like, that is not fair. Like, that don't make any sense.
No, Infinity Wars. Excuse me. That was Infinity Wars.
Yeah, it was Infinity Wars, yeah. I was like, that's not fair, and it didn't make sense. So, back to that. In the end, that Loki did die.
Did you like that the Nexus events between Kid Loki and Classic Loki were pretty much two things that we thought of or we thought our Loki would do? Kill Thor, something he always wanted to do because that was Kid Loki's Nexus event. He actually killed. That was actually kind of crazy. Like, what was your next event? I killed Thor, and he turned around and walked away like it was nothing. I was like, okay, cool. And then obviously Classic Loki just getting away again, making the perfect illusion, getting away. And then once he started to get that feeling, which this Loki just recently did relatively quicker than Classic Loki, I just feel like I like how they're tying all the other paths of his like different versions of himself that we're seeing within himself. It's really cool the way they played it.
I feel like they took a key out of the clone series, not the clone series, but the Spider-Verse series, because all the different Spider-Men like helped Peter Parker be who he is. Like Ultimate Peter Parker turned into the adult Peter Parker, who then passed on that knowledge to Miles Morales, and then Miles Morales had a Spider-Verse event to where it made him essentially from boy to manhood instantly. And I feel like we're getting this with Loki to where it's a Spider-Verse effect where all these different Lokis are now developing the ultimate Loki, because they always talk about it, right? And the ultimate Loki may not be a Loki of power. It may be a Loki of just standing in like full embodiment of what it means to be a person beyond a god. I think that's the ultimate thing.
I like that.
It's just like he has the sentiment, he has the power, but does he have the heart and the mind for it? And that's what's being developed right now. And Sylvie is like a super important part to where you needed something outside of yourself to see the beauty of Loki to become one, one thing. And the great thing about that, and that's kind of what I got overall with the show, because at the end when she's charming Alaster, I forgot the name of the thing they gave it.
Oh, yeah, that's something we got to go into. Eliath.
But that part, she needed him. It was two parts becoming one.
Yeah.
It led to that so many times. It's just like, you can't do anything alone.
Yeah.
You finally found your other, and now you're growing into the Loki you can be. And the fact that she told him you can do anything you want to, in so many words, you just have to do it. And he's like, I can't do that. And she's like, yes, you can. Why do you feel that?
Oh, and even
because you're me.
And even that little line too, where they finally, which we'll talk about in a second, they finally do what they need to do, and his eyes are still closed. Like, he released himself completely and trusted completely in somebody else, in Sylvie, and his eyes are still closed afterwards. She goes, open your eyes. Like, him just losing it to completely to her, or opening himself completely to her to let himself go to do it.
Love with her.
Dude, it was awesome. Oh yeah, he's head over heels, man. He's head over heels.
I thought they were gonna kiss, and that was gonna light the spark. Right? Yeah, I thought that was gonna be it, because they came so close. But it's like, oh, would it be weird? It's okay. And I think that big message of love yourself is such a huge thing that's coming. It's okay to love yourself. And I hope they have a romantic interaction, because yes, they are the quote unquote the same person, but they're not at the same time. If you really want to get weird with it, Silk and Peter Parker made out many a times, and they're technically the same person. So it's just like, that thing that happened. I mean, she was made technically from his cells, I guess you could say, at the end of the day.
Yeah,
so but there's still two different entities. It's like if Jessica and Peter Parker got together and had a thing. They're not brother and sister. I mean, granted, she was cloned. She's a clone, but I mean, they're two different people, So I mean, I don't know. I dig the love. I dig the love interest that's going on, especially for Loki, because he never had it, and it's just so important. It plays such a big role. But anyway, we saw President Loki. I thought his role was going to be a lot bigger than what it was, but nope.
This scene was really good, though. That scene was really good.
I couldn't help but be reminded of Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Almost. It was kind of like a Suicide Squad event where there was a war happening on that planet between all Lokis, and all Lokis betrayed every Loki that betrayed a Loki that betrayed a Loki, because they never got what our Loki's getting right now.
Yep. I like how when they're all fighting too, you just see our Loki in the background, like he's ashamed, just like, what is happening here?
What in the hell? Here we go.
But
why is this version of me being blah blah blah?
But seeing Alligator Loki in that scene, he's clearly the badass Loki. He is the superior one. Him just when I guess that's President Loki or whatever it is like this talking, and he just goes up, bites his hand, takes it off, and just the scene of him just looking at his hand and him screaming, and they all just go into like battle. I was cracking up. It was perfect.
Seeing the alligator run and jump like that, that's terrifying, bro.
That's true too. It was so
did it more
good.
than once too. He was like, "Are you talking shit? I'm gonna get you."
Boastful Loki. I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, he jumped on multiple Lokis. So
that was really good. They played that off perfectly.
He was like, he's a freaking alligator. Now, the reactions to the alligator Loki was amazing too. The scene with Mobius and Sylvie, thank goodness Mobius showed up, because oh my god, when that scene of Sylvie, like they slowed it down, it was very X-Men. That was an X-Men scene right there. They slowed it down, and she like had a glimpse of charming it.
Yep.
Yeah, she like slowed down and had that charm going. I was just like, huh, that's interesting. And then they flashed the place.
They flashed the 4 huge flashes, right? Was you saw, which we get to at the end a little bit more, whatever the place is that you see. I think I have a couple of names that I want to use at the end. You saw the door that was alluded to many times in all the trailers, right? And then you saw this like yellow, I don't know what to call, like a yellow kind of like light that was like bursting through kind of like a gated area or just like a metal area. I have no idea what that could be alluding to, but you obviously know that there's something very Wizard of Oz-esque. Instead of behind the curtain, it's behind the door, right? Because that door, there's a significant it's significant for a reason. The place is a place
typically behind the smoke, I want to say. I think the smoke is the
yellow. Oh, maybe it's like a yellow smoke. Yeah,
the way it opened.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah, at the end of the episode, but that it was very
nailed it. People nailed it when they said that.
It
was like a yellow brick road. It's so funny how it works. The freaking void is a tornado.
Oh my god, yeah.
The way everything lined up, and like literally how people said it. It's quite interesting how all that stuff happened. I loved what they did with the void, quote unquote. I forgot the monster's name that they gave it. So
it's Eliath, and that's actually Eliath is a huge character apparently when it comes to Kang, because I did a little research on this. That is the only creature that Kang is actually afraid of. Now whether I don't think it's going to be Kang behind the door, but that is interesting that they're using this character. But did you notice that it kind of, the face kind of had a this goes back to a couple episodes ago. It kind of looked like a what's his name? Annihilation? Not Annihilation.
It looked like a dog or cat skull to me.
No, it did. It looked like a dog or cat skull. They did it a lot better than they did Galactus in Fantastic Four years ago.
Galactus was just a giant fart with a face.
Yeah, stupid. But I thought, like I said, I thought they did that really well. I like Goliath. I like how they're using him, or the entity, because there is a correlation between Renslayer and Kang there. But yeah, the way that it was brought around and how it's kind of like for lack of a better term, like the trash compactor for the void was really cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really dope. I mean, sometimes I feel like they can kind of dump that off and just put it to where it's just there because it was a part of the Kid Loki's universe, or whatever. Maybe he was dealing with that. Wonder what they're gonna do with those characters. I wonder what they're gonna do with Kid Loki and everybody else. Are they just gonna chill there? He said this is our home, so obviously he's staying there. Hell, we probably won't see Kang the Conqueror until Fantastic Four. It could be that long.
Well, no, he's gonna be in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, is he gonna be in it, or is remnants of it gonna be in it? Like they always say that crap. They always say that this is gonna be. I mean, we got Thanos way more years before. Like, he was just remnants, right? Until we actually got Thanos. Hell, I even forgot about Thanos by the time we got to him. Because I was just like, what's going on with that? But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. But yeah, he should. Yeah. He's definitely gonna make his debut in Ant-Man in 2023. I think Ant-Man and Wasp Quantum
Realm. It's either the end of 2022 or 2023. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's
so far away, dude.
I mean, but we're already halfway through 2021 though, so I don't know.
God damn, I don't even want to talk. I don't even want to think about that. I'm just getting older and older too fast. Yeah, it's an exciting time. So anyway, they broke off. Sylvie and Mobius got together, and then I'm so happy they found each other so fast, because I was like, please don't go take a whole episode of us trying to find them, and you end episode 6 with them just, and don't cliffhanger.
You found each other pretty fast.
If this was the last episode, I'd be pissed. I'd be so pissed. But it would have been a good cliffhanger. It would have been one of those classic Marvel whatevers. But they didn't do an end credits scene either.
Yeah, you went from not having any of the first 3. You had one on episode 4, and now you have none again. So
because we know this is going to be, I think episode 6 is literally going to be action in our face. So
really?
They're probably going to take every bit of time they can and just like explode. But back to classic Loki. So they all finally agreed. Well, Kid Loki, Classic Loki, and Alligator Loki all agreed to help Loki's. Sylvie, being the smart person she is, took one of those TBA like controllers or whatever you want to call them, and gave it to Mobius, and Mobius just dipped. He's like, all right, I'm about to burn this shit down. I'm out. So he went, and that's going to be very interesting. I don't know what the hell is going to happen with that. That could be an episode by itself. So I really hope they don't. I don't know what to do. You know, when it comes to having one episode, it should have been 7 episodes. Should have been.
You're gonna get this episode is probably gonna be this episode's probably gonna be the longest. We've been coming in at around 40-ish minutes each. I think we'll probably get an extra 20 minutes and we'll get an hour.
Hopefully.
And I think it will be a good. This is what I was talking about last week. I think we're gonna get a good split between Mobius and the TVA. Let's say a third, but the other 2/3 of the episode is going to be what's Loki and Sylvie doing. But there's going to be a cliffhanger since there's going to be a season 2. And I think there's going to be 2 cliffhangers. It's going to be Mobius. And I think Mobius is going to find B-15 and they're going to start trying to burn down the TVA. The other cliffhanger is going to be with the Lokis, who's behind the curtain, and Renslayer. But Renslayer is also going to tie into Mobius.
Let me use my power of premonition.
Oh, here we go.
I'm calling it the end of episode 6. We're going to find out who's behind it. Either they're going to show the person or they're going to show a leg, because you know how Marvel likes to do their leg cams. They'll stick the cam right between the legs or like on over the shoulder, and we'll get like an outfit, and like fans will know and non-fans will have to wait till season 2. So I got a feeling that's what's going to happen. It's the classic Marvel way of screwing us. And that's probably going to happen. And it's going to be one of those things. So, or they're just gonna full out show the cam on them, and we're gonna be like, "Oh shit!" and then cut scene, you know. And it's pretty much. I guarantee it's gonna be one of those things. Classic Marvel.
Do you and chat as well? Do you have, after this episode and the past 5 episodes in total, are you leaning more than 50% on one way or another on what you think is controlling, or who's going to be in that, let's call it a citadel behind? Like, do you think you know who's kind of the head honcho dealing with all this stuff?
I'm not trying to think on it because I really want to be like, what the hell? I want to just like fully be surprised. I can have ideas. If I think too much right now, I could probably sum up who it's. I don't want to. You know, I kind of want to just like be. I enjoyed episode 5 so much because I was so busy to even like start putting pieces together. I enjoyed it way more than I enjoyed the series because I've been nailing stuff too much. Like I've been hitting it too much, and I'm like, I don't want that. I knew those timekeepers weren't real. It just didn't make sense for them to just be in a closet somewhere. Yeah, in a TVA. Like, it just didn't make sense. True. So I was like literally nailing everything, and I was like, okay, all right. Can't stop. I mean, the point where I said TVA is coming in to save their ass at the last minute because he told Mobius about next events, and that shit happened on the dot. I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. So I'm gonna wait, you know. And I really want to be surprised. And then a part of me in the back of my head is like, I've already done it. You know, I've already know who's there.
I've already kind of. So, yep.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I think they've done a great job to make you kind of figure out on your own, but at the same time, I still have no idea. So I'm not even gonna say what I think it is. I'm not researching. I have it written down. I'm gonna save the document to show it next week if I'm right. That's all I'm gonna say. But you know what was also cool? What was a cool scene that I think leads into a greater story of Loki was when Mobius, Alligator Loki, and Classic Loki were talking, right? Like when we were sitting down next to the fire. I think they were drinking that bad wine or whatever they were drinking there. That was a very...
It was good.
Nice discussion, and how they said, I don't know if it was Classic Loki or Mobius or how they were going back and forth, but that line of, you know, it's a game. It's always a game within the game with Loki.
You're not talking about Mobius. You're talking about
Loki, right? There was a scene with Classic Loki, Alligator Loki, Mobius, and
when Sylvie and them were sitting outside.
Yeah. They were. When they were doing the whole
the love scene thing.
Yeah, the love scene thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, when they were talking, it was cool because I forgot which one of it said, but it was like a game within the game for Loki. Man, that's such a it resonates so much with now and what the future could be that it was so good. And To your statement before, I did want to say, as of right now, the only Loki that we know that hasn't made it is Richard E. Grant's Loki, classic Loki, because he did get, unless again, I don't think it's the case this time because the way they showed it, I think they did let him go out in the way he's gonna go out. I think he did get, I think he did get trash compacted, I guess you could call it, by Eliath, but all the other Lokis as of right now are still alive. So that's another interesting
Unless
piece.
They killed each other.
Yeah, in battle underneath,
Yeah. That scene of him like creating, was it Asgard?
It was his Asgard. Yep.
Yeah, that scene of him creating that. Wow, man, that blew me away. Yep. I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. Just seeing the sheer power of him, and they were just like, how is he doing it? They were so marveled by him because he's the superior Loki. At the end of the day, power wise, it's him, and and it made sense. He's the most wise one. He's beyond their years. He has so much to grow on.
Yeah.
And he's outlived he's done. Like he looked like he came to peace with everything, and he finally, and it was so much retribution. I think that's a big word for him in his eyes.
Oh,
he's helped these Lokis change the future or change whatever's gonna come, and that was his big thing. And he was like, because he was like, I did it. I finally found my purpose. And that, because that's the thing. Like that was another theme of the thing, is finding your purpose. Like everyone had to find it. They kept saying about finding your purpose and doing this. He found it. I think he finally said that, at the end of the day, he was helping do something big. And
he found his glorious purpose, and his glorious purpose was to help these other Lokis out and their cycle per se.
Yeah. I think that's the case. I think that's it for him.
That was a really good
helmet
scene,
on the ground was the saying, the decrowning of a king, so to speak, or and the fact that he was okay with it, and he got to be with whoever he lost or whatever like that. So I think that was very, very, very good, and I believe our Loki is going to learn that power, and learn how to project himself and stuff like that, because he can already conjure.
He's had a little bit of everyone's power. Like he can obviously make illusions. I think it was episode 1 or episode 2. I think it was episode 1. Like he explained the difference to Mobius, like between projection and something else. And he said, oh yeah, like Mobius was like, oh yeah, that's the cocky reasoning behind you being different.
Perfected, right?
But it was never perfected. Yeah. But
because even Chris Thor knew the difference between an illusion.
That's why he kept on throwing things at him.
Yeah.
Yep. Because he always wanted to know.
When it comes to it, like that Loki, the classic Loki, perfected it, and it was like a key word. Said the perfect projection, perfect copy. He perfected it, and he was able to multiple copy other people and have them do other things while they escaped, which was really cool to see. And then to see the scale of his projection.
I mean, he really made an entire city, and it happened to be Osley. He went ham. So he needed some good go out, guns a blazing, and he did.
Cloud Mufasa.
Right? I like that.
I would have been a little on board with Eliath being the bone remnants of what Ragnarok would look like. The great wolf.
I so want to say things, but I'm not going to say it. I'm so going to say things, but I don't want to say. No, because it's my idea. There's a reason why it looked like a wolf or a lion.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, my thing was like, it's a creation for that Loki's universe. Ragnarok was always the great wolf that takes out, Asgard or whatever. That bone look, I thought was brilliant. I was like, that's freaking sick. They could have just did a black cloud, and I would have been happy at the end of the day. Because I'm so used to seeing black smog with Marvel. I'm just like, oh, okay, it's just another fart cloud. That's cool.
DC did it horribly too, actually, now that I'm thinking of it, with Green Lantern, the stupid yellow cloud. I forgot who it was. Anyway, go ahead.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Elwood Blues. That was freaking awesome. And the coolest thing I think I took away from all of that was that all those Lokis could not do it without each other.
Yeah, that is very true.
in the end of the day, essentially all the Lokis helped each other, like even the bad ones. You know, it was just it was just so, it's such a good episode. You know, I'd be telling people that thought the episode was just okay to rewatch it.
It's so
like,
good.
literally just rewatch it. That means they missed so much. The episode had so much information in it. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, not just storytelling wise, Easter egg wise. I mean, it's how
the world that was created. It was beautiful,
dude. It was
in its own weird way.
It was destructively beautiful. Yep.
Yeah, it was really cool. And the camera scene, the opening camera scene was ridiculous.
Yep.
How they just did this with the camera scene.
Oh man, that was so good.
You know, the cinematography is like this, where everything's all twisted, right? It's like,
and they're doing it for a reason.
Scene was just like,
yep.
It's like beautiful, right? This scene was just like, it was like everything is twisted
because everything is turning upside down and everything within the TVA is twisted. There's a reason behind it, dude. I freaking loved it, man.
The cinematography of The Void was just like giving us memory lane.
Yeah,
I was like, oh my god, those are the buildings from Ultron. It looked like, you know, and like that's the Avengers Tower and this, that, and we just saw everything. And that camera scene was just like, but there's a beauty
Easter
to
eggs.
it, you know, there's a beauty to it all.
Yep.
And then there's the destruction. But it was a beautiful destruction. It was just so cool how the cinematography fought each other on that. And I was just like, man, the minds behind. I think I have a creative mind, but damn, holy crap, dude!
It's a whole different level, and especially in this series too. Everything. Yeah. I wish I could just be a fly on the wall for these production meetings and storytelling meetings, because there is literally a story behind each story they're telling. And whether we're seeing it visually or seeing it spoken word, this whole Loki series, I mean, we're brown nosing as much as we can right now, but it's not that we're brown nosed, but it's just, there's not, we're just telling it out as it is. Exactly.
It's good. While we're there, you talking about like with President Loki? I mean, technically, if you really want to get saucy, there's future Loki where he dies, or present day Loki where he dies, I should say. Then past Loki,
why was there more
where we have our Loki now? Then President Loki, I don't know. I mean, I didn't really look at it like anything. I thought it was cool that it was Tom again, because I was just like, oh, that's him in a different timeline. Cool. You know, like maybe he got what he wanted and he was over some people, or maybe he won people over at some point, and you know, or whatever.
You know what it was?
But he got caught and he got pruned, and
you know what he kind of looked like? Did you notice he kind of had the same helmet as Kid Loki, but he had full horns on it? So I wonder if it was like the grown-up version of Kid Loki.
I don't know about that. I think
but it was interesting that was the one Loki.
He didn't have wings on it though. Did you notice the Thor wings on the Kid Loki's helmet? Yeah, it was a combination of Thor and Loki's helmet together. It was pretty crazy how that was there. But the biggest thing of it all is freaking Kid Loki's sword. That's very subtle slip in.
What did he call it? They gave
him that sword because that's going to come into play later on. Mark my word about that. It wasn't just a damn glow stick.
There was he goes, you're going to need this. And he hands it to him and he goes, there's a specific name to the sword and it's massive within the Marvel universe. Oh my! It's like Sword of the Ancestors or something like that, right?
It's huge. It's gonna be huge, and I believe that sword is gonna be the key to defeating or even a bigger. It's definitely gonna have a bigger plot, because there's no way in hell that they're just gonna have that sword be a glow stick. You know, at the end of the day. Let's see, Kid.
Yeah, I think it's called like the like our ancestral sword or something like that, if I remember correctly. SWORD. Kid Loki seems to be wielding a flaming sword, which looks an awful like Lavatayan, the sword he wields in Loki Agents of Asgard.
Yeah, I got the comic book, but it's just I'm trying to figure out what he calls it. But that sword can grow, by the way. It's a lot bigger than what they show.
Yeah, I mean, it already went into flames, right? When he was trying to get the intention.
And it did grow a bit because it was a dagger at first, and then it grew into a sword of flames. But yeah, I'm so interested. I don't want to think on it too much because I'll probably figure it out, and I don't want to do that. But I don't think that's the last we've seen of Kid Loki. He's too important. Too important.
I even like the little scene when he's on his throne and he's drinking to show that he's a kid. He's having a high C, but it's ecto cooler. I was like, that's awesome. They went ecto cooler with it. It was so good. What else was there? I mean, obviously, when you talk about Easter eggs, obviously you got Thanos' copter. That was really fun. When you're talking about going through, you saw a huge version of Yellow Jacket's helmet from Ant-Man and Wasp.
Leviathan is his sword name or something like that.
Yeah, but I think he says specifically like it's our ancestral sword, and I guess
but that's the name he gave. That's the name he called it. Though.
Okay,
like Leviathan, not Leviathan, but maybe it is Leviathan, but it's just spelled weird. I don't know.
I love
Leviathan. That's what it is. Leviathan.
I love the Throg Easter egg. That was the Thor in the bottle that was trying to get out. It was actually Throg. I like how they put him in there, which was hilarious. Man, so many good things. So many good things.
Yeah, like I said, I think Kid Loki is definitely going to come back because Kid Loki is actually like stupid ass powerful. It was Leviathan. Casual, he did say it. But I was like, when he said it, I was like, huh? Oh, because I'm not really a big Kid Loki like fan. I'm not saying fan as in he's bad. I just never really took time to like read. I saw a couple of his comics, read a couple of his comics. But yeah, that sword is definitely going to be significant.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to play.
Stupid ass powerful too. Like Kid Loki is stupid powerful. So I wonder if we're going to see him again.
Well, I mean, Kid Loki is part of the, I think, Young Avengers in certain comic books. So I think we talked about this last week. Since it seemingly feels like and looks like they're trying to bring together the young Avengers, it would be cool to see how he gets out of the void or leaves the void or something of that nature and becomes part of the Avengers. Like at the end of this, is everybody or everything in the void going to be part of our universe now? Is it going to turn into a multiverse timeline, hence Doctor Strange? What is it going to be? Is everyone just going to be disappeared and it's a multiverse again? Like, is everyone going to be snapped back into their original reality, not knowing or knowing what happened? Who knows? But I do hope that we don't see the last of Kid Loki, because the story that could be told, I think, with him could be really, really fun, amongst other things.
Yeah, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that sword can take on different shapes as well. I believe it can turn into like a dagger. I mean, they showed it as a dagger in the beginning. Then it can turn into a sword. It was like in comics, it can be a dart of some sort and a wand. So I believe that's why that's probably going to be Loki's like weapon overall from now on. I'm pretty sure that's going to go farther in the series. I believe that Loki's going to be a part of the multiverse and helping fix that down the line. Multiverse of Madness. Probably going to get reintroduced to whoever Avengers that are around now. And they're probably going to have a very big, feeling. It's probably going to be like one of those interactions where it's just not going to be cool, whatever. But like I said, I'm not trying to think of it because I don't want to figure this shit out.
I have a question that I'm not going to ask.
I believe that we're going to get. I think Loki is now changing the timeline himself, and he just doesn't know it. But it's cool. I'm here for it. I'm super here for Loki being one of the biggest, most awesome people in the MCU.
Yeah.
Period. Super here for it. I'm here for Wanda. I love how they're giving all the side chicks or the sidekicks or what do you want to say, sidekick villains, whatever, their place. Because Wanda definitely needed. She was way too powerful to be off camera as much as she was. Same with Loki. Who's next? That's the cool thing about it. So
man, and if they already have a season 2, man, how are they even gonna? Anyway, it's Agent Loki, maybe. I don't know. It's gonna be this. Obviously we're holding back because we want to be, even though I have my own ideas. Like next week is going to be fun, man. Next week is going to be fun. It's also going to be sad too, because out of all the series so far, I loved WandaVision. It was a fun first. It was definitely very, very different, right? You got a little bit more grounded with Cap Falcon / Captain America and Winter Soldier. It was definitely the buddy cop / action comedy TV show / movie. And now we got Loki, and this is the one I don't want to end, because we kind of knew where Falcon and Winter Soldier was going, right? We kind of knew where WandaVision was going, but this, man, like, it just, every step of the way, it just leaves me loving what I've seen, but also wanting more. It's that fine line that they know how to play with, and I'm gonna be really happy
nice
yet upset that it's gone next week.
Well, the order that they put these shows in is like dead on. Like, Wanda was great, but it was no Falcon Winter Soldier. Well, Falcon Winter Soldier was great, but it's no Loki.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, damn. But anyway, before we go, if you guys have anything to say in the chats, please do so now. Comments, concerns, whatever. You're right, Elwood. Everything does have a name when it comes to anything. Anything in the Asgard world has a name. Everything has a damn name. Right about that. Funny little Easter egg while we're waiting for you guys. Jensen Ackles posted a selfie of him in front of a TV, and that said, "I'm Batman." He's watching the series, but like I said, it's kind of funny how he just does some weird stuff like that. We might be getting Jensen Ackles in something.
Well,
it was on Instagram.
He's in Batman, The Long Halloween. He's the actual voice of Batman, The Long Halloween.
But he's just been posting a lot of like Batman related selfie comic, like something, and he's been giving tidbits. So I don't know. Maybe we're getting a little bit deeper than just that. Maybe they liked him in that so much they're gonna do more stuff. I don't know.
I would like to see him. Yeah, I would like to see him more than just a voice.
Like, bro, I want a live action Red Hood, and it has to be you. That's what I told him.
Yeah, we're getting Red Hood and Titans. Sad face. Anyway,
I sent a message to Bobby Dazzler, who's Chris Helmworth's stunt double. And because he showed a video, and I was like, bro, I did not know you were the guy that dived through a car during those Olympics videos. Remember those Olympics commercials?
Yeah.
There was a car sideways, and there was a dude that just dove straight through the car into the water.
Yeah.
That apparently was real, and that was him.
No, it wasn't. That wasn't fake.
That was not fake. I was like, bro, that was
no
dove through a car. He was like, yup. He was like, yup. I was like, what? What?
Insane.
I have the message right on my phone.
Oh my God.
I was like,
he's got to be neck deep in stuff right now. Jesus.
Yeah, and that was a long time ago.
That was a couple years ago.
He's also all those backflips you saw in the Huntsman. That was all him. So cool, man.
Is he the only? Does he only do stunts for Helmsworth, or does he do other things as well? I didn't go too deep into it. Excuse me.
He did a little bit of Captain America stuff before they got Chris Evans like double.
Yeah.
But everyone has a double, like,
Black Panther. Black Panther is Black Panther has his own, and I know Winter Soldier.
Black Widow has her own.
Yeah, they all do.
Which I believe, I forgot that woman's name. But funny enough, I want to say Florence Pugh learned knife fighting. I want to say she's very adamant about doing her stunts, because I saw a what do you call it? A clip on Instagram of her fighting with a stunt double, but they were doing knife fighting, and she was actually going through the rhythms of the choreography.
That's cool.
Like in full speed, and looked great.
That's kind of like Sebastian Stan for Winter Soldier. That whole awesome knife fight scene when they're on the freeway. He did a lot of that because he wanted to. He really wanted to dive into the character, which is cool.
For the most part, did most of his fight, all of his fight scenes, honestly, because he was being trained for like 2 years in Atlanta. Also, God, what was it? I forgot.
I feel like I know Tom, not Tom Hiddleston, Tom Holland. Spiderman. Yeah, he does all the acrobatic stuff.
Yeah, the only ones he didn't do, and he was upset that he didn't get to do it, is when he fell through the shed.
Yeah,
but they needed that to be a 2-person thing, because
You're not
the stunt
doing
double
this.
fell through the shed and he jumped out the shed. So he couldn't really he tried it. And I think the timing was not what they wanted for the scene, because they wanted to be like kind of quirky, like that he pops out so fast as Spider-Man.
You know that it's,
But they didn't want to drop him through it. So the stunt double dropped through it and he popped out. But yeah, he had to work to get his stunts done because they didn't want to do it. You know, he's young, he's a big star now, but he was like, nah. This is the whole reason why I'm training and flipping all over the damn place. You guys, I mean, essentially that's what got him the role too.
True,
Robert Downey Jr. watched his casting tape from a different room apparently, and said, "That's him. That's it." Nope. It's funny how he has that much power,
dude. Robert Downey Jr.
I wonder if he still has that much power. I wonder if he's still sitting in on castings and stuff. It would make sense.
I'd be interesting if he takes on like a
huge relationship with the Russo brothers and you know the other directors and Kevin Feige, obviously. You know, I mean, he was the number one.
Did you see the speaking of Kevin Feige, did you see the little thing that made X-Men fans go crazy this week with Kevin and you? So Michelle Yu? No. So well, there was that piece with Michelle Yu, but Hugh Jackman. So there's this amazing artist who does a lot of work for movies, cartoons, TV, Boss Logic. He did this post of Wolverine's hand, like a gift with the claw coming out. And then Hugh Jackman reposted it with like a photo of him and Kevin Feige, and everyone's going insane saying, is he coming back? Is he going to reprise Doctor Strange? Is it going to be real? Will we get him? I'm like, cool. I was like, I wonder, like, that's actually a cool way if they're going to do something like that. I didn't even think of it.
It's shrug mode for me
it's interesting.
Right now.
It's shrug mode. Okay.
I like Hugh Jackman, sure. If he's not in it, I don't care. New X-Men? Maybe the Wolverine that was there fell through. You know, maybe COVID did something to where it just didn't work out. I mean, there's a lot of, I guess you could say, what ifs. No pun intended. There's a lot of what ifs to that. But at the end of the day, I just want good comic book movies and shows. I was afraid for Black Widow not being able to hold up to the hype of what we're getting now, but apparently she did. I have not seen it yet. I say in 2 weeks we're gonna go ham on Black Widow. I'm gonna give it 2 weeks. We'll give it more than that because I won't be able to. I have something coming up at the end of the month. So
the 24th.
We'll probably give it some time to cook before we go through it.
Oh, because we're gonna. Oh, yeah. So next week, we're gonna be going full bore. That's the 17th into the season finale of Loki.
Next week is fine.
Probably going a little theory crafting. You and I will talk and figure out what we're talking about on the 24th, and then we'll we're gonna keep on trugging forward, boys and girls.
Yep. Well, if nobody got questions, that's cool. I feel like we covered a lot today. We talked about, and then if you have missed the show and you're just coming in, feel free to watch the VOD or the podcast. We talked about What If. We talked about Black Widow. We didn't go in depth about Black Widow. I just want to give you guys, we didn't go, no spoilers. I haven't seen it yet. You seen it, Matt?
No, I'm gonna go to the couch tonight with the wife and we'll watch it or tomorrow.
All right, so we haven't seen it. We did go into major details with Loki. Pretty much told you the whole episode. So make sure you watch that before you watch this or listen to this, if that's the case. And we talk about, some personal stuff about Funko Pops and, classic cartoon culture, where it was and where it is today, so to speak. So I guess that at the end of the day, we can go ahead and just tell you where you're going to be at and where you are and all that good stuff.
Yeah, got a fun week ahead of us here. I got a PlayStation 5, so I'm gonna dive into a couple of those games this week. Nice. Ratchet and Clank looks heckin' beautiful.
Awesome.
Oh man, I played like 3 hours I think the other day, and I'm gonna really dive into it this week. And I'm just in awe at how high fidelity, and this is obviously first gen games for PlayStation 5. It's just gonna get even crazier. How beautiful it is, and not just that, but the gameplay itself. Got some sabotage things that I'm doing from goals from charity from last month that I'm gonna need to be doing, but it's gonna be a fun week. And like we said last week, if you got any other further questions, chat for us. I know Frank talks about all this stuff on his streams. I'll be talking about it on my streams as well if you want to go a little bit deeper and whatnot into it. But you could find me anywhere. I'm Nighthawk Plays throughout. So whether it's Twitch, which we're on today, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, so on and so forth, you could find me there. And for those of you listening, obviously on the podcast as well, it's NIGHTHEWKPLAYZ. Frank, what you got?
I'll just interject. If you have questions, man, you can always put them in there
or in here too.
And we come on every Saturday if we can help it. I mean, there's going to be some holidays and stuff that we don't, but if we're not on, you guys have notice. Or if you want to look at the Rare Drop, the twitter.com/Rare Drop, they do post captions of the show there. You can always put your questions there, or you can like ask questions on our Twitters. Their Twitter links are right here. My Twitter is Technique TV, as you see it right there. No, you just had the T and a V at the end. But if you want to find me on Twitch, it's just Technique, period. No TV at the end. Just straight up Technique with no E, just a Q. I play all RPGs and progression games that they're of. I got partnered on Twitch doing MMO stuff, and MMOs are coming back. So I'm back in my element. Pretty much exploring these brand new MMOs that are coming out left and right, and giving my thoughts on them and doing extensive playthroughs. I did about 20 something hours of Crowfall and gave my thoughts on that. Done with that, uninstalled it. And then, I mean, I spent money on that game in 2015 for Kickstarter. So we're talking about Kickstarter stuff, and if it's worth investing in or not, or if it's the actual gotcha / gamble game in the business. And then we're exploring Solo is what we call it, Swords of Legends Online. It's a Chinese themed MMO, and it does really well in China, and it's doing really well here. Day one release was actually pretty good. And then we'll be diving into New World the week after next. The week after next, we're diving into New World in 10 days, I should say. Not really the week after next. So 10 days, be diving into New World and doing like some big stuff with that. And that's going to be kind of the casting call that's going on with me. I got some big stuff coming up, so I'll be a little absent here and there due to that, but not like completely gone since I don't have to travel for the event. But I am doing an event at the end of the month, so keep your eyes open for that. And that's it. If you want to find me on Twitter and find me here. I do have an Instagram, but it's a behind the scenes thing. And if you're into that, you can go on my Twitter and find that out. All right. So guys, thanks for coming through.
Really quick, did you see the Sony State of Play?
When?
Thursday.
Recent one or?
Yeah, the one that was out 2 days ago.
Oh, no, I did not.
Oh, okay, never mind. There was a game on there that I wanted to ask you about really quick because you were just bringing up MMOs and everything, but we'll talk offline about it or next week.
Yeah, sure.
We'll talk about it. But yeah, I think that's it. Once again, if you're hanging out on the podcast, that should be live on Monday or Tuesday on Rare Drop. Take a look at their Twitter feed for it. We'll obviously repost it as well if you want to sit down and have us in your ear holes. VOD will be up shortly after we end stream here in a couple minutes. But yeah, man, have a great rest of your weekend. Enjoy Black Widow. I'm sure we'll text each other about it.
Yeah. Yep, watching it Sunday. It's gonna be great. Anyway, that's it. Wait, oh my God, is that close for New York? Yep, is that close? All right, guys, have a great one, and get your comic on and do whatever. Make sure you invite people to comics. Don't gatekeep, and it's a world for everybody to build. Imagination is always and will be the biggest treasure that we have. So keep using it, guys, and we'll take it easy, and we'll see you guys later, and see you on the mix next week, same time, same place. Peace. See you later.
Bye.